Yo, so the opinions and views expressed in this podcast are that of our own and the future Bachelor podcast only, and not affiliated with any outside party or entity or anything like that. This fun podcast, though, may include some adult language.
Future Bachelor podcast.
But why don't we get into a big week of what we get doing around here, you know? It's that time to talk about The Bachelor on our show! It's been a while since I've done that. I didn't even know how to do
I know,
that.
you were like ready to just say other stuff.
Yeah, I just, it's that time to talk about Bachelor on our show. I guess that's what I used to say. I don't know. It's been a year. But before we get into that, YouTube, you know what's up. Go ahead and subscribe. Smash that thumbs up button and hit that notification bell so you can get notified every time we drop new Bachelor content, just like this. And if you just did, huge shout out to you. Ooh, wee. Let me find my air horns. What's going on right now? All right, air horns for you. We got to give a shout out to our comment crew, the Nancy Drew crew, Chelsea Allen, Catherine Ann, Kathleen Kent. I don't know. One of you guys might have been missing this last week. I hopefully you're back now for The Bachelor. We'll see. Marion SP was in the building, so that's what's up. Love you guys. I'm looking forward to a new season of The Bachelor with y'all. We're starting. They're noticing, some subscribers. It's cool that like our subscribers are like, since I've joined, you guys have like gained this many subscribers, and it's kind of cool. Like it's kind of working. Like I love it. So shout out to y'all that are making this really our YouTube journey really fun. So we love you. If you want to get a shout out on this show, it's as easy as joining the comment crew and leaving a comment. Let us know you subscribed. Let us know you're new to the family. You gave us a thumbs up, whatever it is. Just, we'll have some questions at the end of this segment where you can just answer.
We always do.
Yeah. They're just made up. But anyways, we'll shout you out on the next episode. But V, I'm very excited. Let's get into the first week of season 27 of The Bachelor. Zach Shallcross? Shallcross. Oh man, it's an interesting one for sure. That's a name, yeah, for sure. V, where do we start with this week?
So this week is my least favorite week, as we all know. It's limo week, which it's just like you could tell they kind of went back to like an OG move of Bachelor by like trying to show more of like the past of like the like growing up years of our lead. I feel like that's something they've been trying to bring back a little bit more with our Bachelor leads. I feel like they don't do it as much with the Bachelorette leads.
Yeah. I think what I was noticing of the beginning of this show at this episode was like, I think they're trying to cater to the fact that like people don't really know who Zach is. So they're trying to like get you to remind you who he is and get a personality of him.
You thought you knew these things. You thought you knew Zach. You don't. These are things about him that you don't know.
Random facts about him. Like, he played the bass in a band. He was a DJ. Maybe he'll DJ his own wedding. What? I was like, what are we talking about right now?
That was just cheesy. And it's definitely them trying to compensate for the fact that, like, he is not a fan favorite. And so, like, they even had, like, all the videos of, like, the girls that are contestants, like, watching after the final rose, watching for him to be announced. And you could tell, like, even if you watch some of those videos, like, some of their friends that they were with, like, definitely were, like, you could tell that they were, like, forcing excitement. And I was like, all right, we're trying to sell something here. I could tell that we're really trying to sell it. I could feel like, Zach is just leaning into being like a normal dude, like being all like, I mean, I don't know what to expect. I've been on this side of the show, but I haven't been on like this side as the lead. Like, I'm just a genuine guy. I'm looking to settle down and find love. I'm just at that point in my life, which like I have such a hard time believing when it's somebody who's, especially a man, who's younger than me, just because I'm like, okay, you're like 26 and you're all like, this is what I want.
Yeah,
and like
but
then you have like
23-year-old
women being all like, I'm ready to get married.
That side I don't believe as much, but like for him, I feel like he's pretty genuine. He just seems like the type of person that doesn't really, he's not like an F-boy, you know what I'm saying? He's out there just trying to.
True, he wouldn't be on F-boy Island.
Yeah.
So.
So yeah, I mean they do that. We get this, we get Sean Lowe. He shows up. What did you think about that?
that's definitely them bringing in a heavy hitter. Sean Lowe is like a franchise favorite. He's like one of the OG like Bachelor greats, and I guess he was known as being the most shirtless Bachelor. And so like, which I never watched. Like I have friends that my friend Shannon, who got me into watching The Bachelor. Shout out to Shannon, because we wouldn't be here if it weren't for her. But she watched Sean Lowe's season, like, so I only know things about him from like when they did those like flashbacks. Remember when they did that a couple years ago? And so like that's the most I know, and just like genuinely like kind of like I know that kind of knowledge.
Well, apparently he's like the only lead that's actually made it with like the person he picked from the show. Like,
yeah, I think like as the Bachelor,
strictly from the format of the show, not just like they got together after they broke up and left the show and got back together.
They've been together 10 years. They have 3 kids. They're like rolling.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it's kind of like acting. Like for every 100 auditions you get, you might book one thing, you know? That's kind of like what Bachelor has right now.
That's why the Bachelor has to come pull him back up.
Yeah.
And I had to give them some credit. I thought it was like a funny little montage of like, you know, showing him as like the old dog and like Zach as the new dog, like doing the curls and doing the whatever, and like him teaching him the right way to like rub his body for the inevitable shower scenes and stuff that they do. And I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
But they definitely then like right after that they did like the full montage of like, you know, Zach being hot, like curling and like, you know, doing stuff in the gym and like driving around his Bronco and like, you know, shit like that.
I mean, ideally, you know, for a show like this, he's got the full package, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not even saying.
That's what all these girls are already saying, so.
Yeah, I mean, apparently everything's bigger in Texas, but, yeah, I mean, that was so cringe. All right, so, where do we start with, like, the limo entrances and stuff? Is there anything in between?
When it comes to, like, the limo entrances, of course, they go through, like, they do the little, like, snippets of some of, like, you know, the main girls to watch, as they tend to do, and pretty much they go through all of the girls that were on after the final rose, including Briana, who got the America's first impression rose.
Well, Briana came out last, right?
She did come out last. She was the last one to come out, but they I'm trying to think, like they started with she was wearing the
Bailey.
No, Bailey was not the first one out the limo.
But she was the first one they introduced. She was like the first girl in the bikini. I was like, damn, like she's looking good and stuff. So
they have a lot of very pretty girls, I will say. The girls are looking good. That is actually a big thing right now from some of these podcasts that aren't covering the show, is that, you know, once again, we're not seeing a lot of body diversity when it comes to the cast. They're pretty much all like the same size. But they're all gorgeous. And I think the first girl out the limo, I think her name was Jess. I don't remember. But she was like wearing.
Let's talk about that for a second, though. Do you think like to introduce like, you know, different, you know, types of people, they should just like have a lead first that's like, you know, maybe not your traditional like Zach or something like that, and that way it could open up a bunch of like people like suitors for that person. You know, it just could be. Or do you think people just want to see hot people? Is that why they're sticking to this? Because I'm not gonna lie, I like to see hot people.
I like to see hot people, but I think hot people can be hot in more than one like dress size. I
agree. I'm just saying, like, you know, what you were saying earlier about like, you know, the girls being very pretty and stuff. I'm like, you know, this is nice for as a male viewer. It's just like these girls are beautiful. So and I feel like not all of them look. I feel like last season or 2 seasons ago, I feel like when it came to the women, a lot of them just looked very fake, and I feel like we've kind of reverted. Not all of them look as fake anymore. Like I feel like there was definitely a couple of women who looked very like injected, very like, you know, that kind of thing. So I don't know if like stuff's just looking more natural now, or if maybe some of them are just still hopefully too young to even be like buying into all of that shit. But I feel like there was generally some, like, not everybody looked like super made up. Everybody looked gorgeous, but like I feel like there was
there was distinctive like facial looks to a lot of these women, and it was good to see more like a more sprinkling of women of color. Like we saw some darker black women. We had Lekka, who I believe is Indian. We had, a couple of other folks. So I think, there's definitely a little bit more diversity, ever so slightly, but still not a ton. And I think, we didn't get that many like crazy entrances. I wonder if they're like gonna continue moving away from like the crazy entrances, because like I feel like the weirdest shit we saw was like Catherine Mandrell brought up she had the party bus. We saw Mercedes with her pig, because she's a pig farmer. We saw, I forget her name, some chick who's from Baton Rouge who, walked up with the horns and stuff and throwing the beads, because like Louisiana. And then
Greer with the coffee, I guess.
Those were like kind of like the main ones.
Greer with the coffee.
Yeah, the coffee. But everything was like, if it was anything, it was like either a line with like a prop. It wasn't like anything crazy. Like nobody was coming in like crazy cars or like crazy big things or like with mariachi bands or like anything like that. It was very lower key.
Yeah,
which, honestly, I kind of like. I'd rather you do like a stupid line.
I agree.
And like see if the dude is gonna laugh or if like that's his sense of humor. Like, sure, some of them were cringy and bad. Like the whole everything's bigger in Texas. Like from what I can tell, everything's bigger in Texas. Doing the one up, one down. I was like.
Do you think guys could get away with that? No,
I feel like because of how this show is set
if a girl
up,
was like, stacked with like, what did you call Rachel at one time? I forgot what you said about her, but like if a girl had like big boobs or something like that, it's not like you could really call that out. Like, was she like talking about his penis? Because she was looking right at it.
That's what she was talking about. Yeah, that's what she said from what I can see.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you though. I think it came off. I just think it was because of Zach. Like if it was like a funnier person, I think people would be like, bringing out different personalities. I
feel like they've done the kind of like sex joke thing before with some of these people. Like, with like Hannah Brown, like with the whole, like with Peter Weber, then there was a lot of windmill jokes with him, like, like we'll see how many times, whatever. And like with some of these other, I feel like Caitlin Bristow later on, like they had some things with her. I'm really trying to think of like some of there was a different lead that was like they used like the sex stuff a lot leading in to them, but I don't remember which one it was at this point. But I mean, I know like Arie was like supposed to be like the makeout king, so like that was like a big thing that they had for like his season.
Was it Clayton?
Clayton, what was Clayton's thing? I don't know.
I mean, Clayton, I thought was like the shirtless dude. Like they were just always like making him be shirtless.
They were just like being like Clayton's like a big, like he's a big burly. He's a man. That was like the big thing for. Clayton.
The sex one was what's her name? Katie Thurston.
Oh yeah, because she did the sex joke for her entrance. Mm-hmm. So then they did sex jokes to her.
Yeah. So where do we go from here?
So we had a bunch of different entrances. During the entrances, Zach ends up kissing Bailey, who was on after the final rose. She made a point to like reintroduce herself with her name because he had messed up her name after the final rose. And like in that moment, he thought it was a good idea to give her a kiss because he's like, I was vibing with her. I felt the spark. Like I wanted her to know this, that, or the other. So like she got the first kiss of the night. And then it was just like homie was feeling himself. He was going from there. He kissed, I counted at least 6. I think it might have been more. I'm guessing it had to have been more, which honestly, but he was nice about it every time he would ask if he could kiss them. So I was like all about the consent angle. He kissed.
See, I want to talk. We've probably talked about this before, but like That's what I've always done. I've always been like, is it all right to kiss you? Like, and I just thought it was like a cute thing to do too. Not just like also like a consent thing, but like, you know, but some girls think the magic gets taken away if you have to ask. Like, you know, they just want it to happen. I've had it happen. I'm telling you, if it's happened, like be like,
I know it has. Like, I know it has, but I think personally, in like my experience, like, just, yeah, there's plenty of kisses that like you just kind of both are feeling it and you both lean in. But I think it's way safer and way better. Like, I don't think it takes any, to me personally, I don't think it takes any magic away to like at least like both people be on the same page to be all like, hey, can I kiss you? To me, that's almost like sweeter, cuter, considerate. I'd like rather get that than somebody like just leaning in when I wasn't, you know, when I might not have been feeling it.
Sure.
So
yeah, I mean, Zach, you know, is going for Arie's makeout king spot. We get, you know, Greer, you know, early on showcased, very cute girl. Reminds me kind of like you know, like of a baby Becca kind of like, you know.
She's definitely giving like quirky vibes. Like her little video was like, you know, her messing it up and like spilling the champagne and like doing a cartwheel and like, you know, petting a dog. Like definitely like they're trying to make her out to be like, oh my God, she's so quirky and down to earth. Like that's definitely the vibe that I got from her little thing. And then they ended up just like being very natural together. Like they just like when they met and they talked, they were just like vibing, like straight vibing. Like nothing felt weird. Like some of these girls you can tell like force themselves into these conversations and then are very much so like trying to force it, like, yeah, so blah, blah, blah. I was so excited when it was you because X, Y, like already have like a script. And I felt like for them, it didn't feel super scripted, which is, you know, a good thing in that case.
Yeah, totally. I think I you know, I always bring it back to acting now because it's all I really do. But you know, when doing these auditions and stuff, it's like you think you want to do a scene like the way that you think the director wants it and stuff, but like over and over again, I'm told that like you just have to be yourself, like put yourself through it, you know, to be natural and everything. And it's just like that is more authentic, you know, and it just comes off like, you know, authentic and you want to lean into that more. So I totally see, and she's beautiful too. So it's like, you know, a win-win there with Greer.
And she seems in the show seems very like girl next door kind of girl, like very like fun, normal. Even though I feel like however they like to portray normal on the show is like quirky, like that's how they try to push it. But totally. She definitely is that. I feel like another girl who's trying to make her moves is Catherine Mandrell, which she's like the only Catherine that uses her full name, and I think it's because her like mom was part of some sort of group where it was like the Mandrell sisters. And so she uses her full name, and because there's like a bunch of Katies, Catherines, Kates, whatever.
Cats, yeah.
There gets a bunch. She's the one who came in the party bus, so she brings him out to the party bus.
She was also on to After the Rose, right?
Huh?
Was she also on to After the Rose?
She was.
So, you know, the thing, and she has a kid, you know, right?
She's a young mom. She's only like 26 and she has a 5-year-old, so she had her when she was 21.
You know, like I want to like her, but there was something about her that she just like feels like she was like owning the room. All like, you know, she was the one that was
she was acting like it was her show.
Yeah, like, you know, like every time like he said something when he came back into the house, like it was like
she had a quip to say back.
I'm just like, shut up. Like, you know, I wonder if that's like actually the girl that's being told to shut up, like in the beginning, like when you see like there was a scene where one of the girls was like, I think it was Brooklyn, that was like, can you ever just shut up?
I could see that for her. I could see this being a season like the girls are gonna carry. Like I was talking to you know, compadre of the show, JD, and he was saying how, you know, he hopes it to be a show where we just kind of let the girls go in, the women come in and like kind of carry it, because like when we've had maybe some less interesting leads. Like even Matt James wasn't as interesting as he was booked to be, and like the women of that show, so that got, I felt like a little over catty. But I mean, even with Clayton was fine, but I feel like the women of his show like definitely carried. So I wonder if we're gonna get a lot of like interpersonal drama with the girls to really be the main drama of the show.
Yeah. Just, we talked about it earlier, but Briana came in last and she came out. Dude, this girl is just beautiful. Like, it's
She's
crazy.
Stunning. She's wearing a red rose dress.
Oh my gosh.
She's carrying her America's First Impression rose.
She's bad, dude. It's crazy. She's should be the next Bachelorette.
She did everything right too. She came in, was cool, calm, collected, confident, but also was making sure to show effort to pull him aside and talk to him, even though she does have that rose. But she's all like, this was voted on. I want to have time with you. I'm here for you. And it didn't feel fake to me at all. It felt
no,
very,
she's just confident.
Genuine.
She knows she's hot, in all aspects. Her voice, oh my God, just hearing her talk, I could listen to her all day. ASMR type, voice, So I thought she just came in, killed it. That red dress, the way she carried herself, it was kind of I don't know, she just seemed like she was just on another level than a lot of the other.
You could tell she was not acting better than everybody, but acting I'm not gonna get stuck in the shit. I'm gonna just be me, and that's I'm gonna forge my path, but not in a way that's putting other people down, but just in a way that's doing me.
She just looks like she has a great personality too. So
she does. She just seems cool, confident, calm, collected, a boss ass bitch.
Yeah. She gained a follower in me. So yeah, I mean, still team Briana for sure. What do we talk about here? We got this Madison girl.
Madison is out here trying the hardest. She comes in, she grabs him for some time, and you could tell she saw other girls kissing him. She's wanting a kiss. The first time they go and talk, you could tell he is looking for his out of that conversation. You could tell he was just being nice, polite, whatever. And you could tell she's she felt like a more scripted conversation. She came in hot, wanting, she's all blah, blah, blah. I want this, first impression rose, blah, blah, blah. And then as the night is going on and people are still, not having their time, she decides, with the encouragement of some of the other girls, sort of, which I felt was an interesting tactic, to go and grab him for more time again. Because she was I mean,
do it. I would be the same thing too. Go back in there. If you feel if you've, she's spinning out of control, being I want to do this, I want to do that, then go do it. You know what I'm saying?
And but so she did. And then she kind of forcibly kissed him. You could tell he was trying to leave and do whatever.
What was this dance she was doing with him? I'm this is the worst thing.
They were doing the
world.
gritty. They did the gritty back.
Oh my God. I was just this is so bad. I totally understand.
It was bad, and you could tell he didn't really want that kiss. And then he even says afterwards, he was I wasn't feeling that kiss. That wasn't what I was trying to do. And, And
she felt it too.
She felt it too. And she goes and offs and cries and spirals for a while. And then before they're even getting as they're about to get called for after the first impression rose goes out, which we'll talk about that in a second, before they even, as they're lining up to head in for the rose ceremony, she pops out to talk to him again as he's talking to Jesse.
Yeah, you can interrupt the other girls, but you're going to interrupt Jesse?
You're going to interrupt Jesse. That's a bromance. You can't be interrupting Jesse.
I mean, now you're just messing with the show's format here. I thought... I thought at least she didn't just be I'm not feeling it, I'm gonna leave. She gave him one last chance, and at least that's the way it should have gone down.
And he was honest, and he was all I'm not gonna lead you on. I have to be true to myself. I have no reason to put you through something just for, it to hurt even more. And so, like, it was nice meeting you, whatever. And then she sobbed her way out there, and that was the end of Madison. So,
yeah, good riddance.
She was desperado.
Yeah. So where does that leave us with the end of the show here?
Well, the first impression rose gets given to Greer. They definitely were vibing.
There was a couple girls that I thought could have gotten
I couldn't, honestly, leading up to it, I could not peg who it was going to go to.
I mean, I knew it was going to be Greer.
I didn't think, I would have never guessed Greer.
She had the longest makeout session with him.
Huh?
They commented on how long and great that makeout session they had. Like, everybody was looking at it.
Yeah, I guess. But still, I didn't guess Greer, I guess. Because because then we only saw bits and pieces of other kisses. I guess I could have guessed that, but I was like, oh, he's just kissing everybody. I don't even know. Because then he was like vibing. He was like saying stuff about a bunch of these girls. So I don't know. But so I guess we could do a quick aside about Greer right now, because she, it came out today, late last night, that I guess she was part of, like,
I mean, this came out a while ago, I think, actually.
Well, yeah, I think
we just didn't care because, like, I don't care about, like, what news comes out really about people until I get to see who they are on the show. Right. Like,
I think it started to trickle out, and then, like, obviously once everybody saw the show, saw that she got the first impression rose, I think that's when then it blew up more, so she was part of some, like, secret sorority situation at her high school that then, like, would host these parties. And I guess this one Halloween party, included a girl doing blackface or several.
Yeah, so, like, first of all, I just want to say, like, I mean, people should be mad about this, but I'm just saying the guy that, like, is, like, exposing her, like, I didn't like the whole way about this. That's what sucks about the internet. This guy's just getting pleasure out of just, like, trying to get, like, his seconds of fame for, like, finding some old tweets. And, I think this is, like, when she was, like, in middle school. Like, so she must have been a popular girl, and she just, like, went to
high school, yeah.
Yeah, like, went to a party, and, stupid kid went as Tupac and, like, did blackface and shit. And it's, like, terrible. But I guess she, like, defended her on Twitter or something.
Yeah, she was defending her, and that was, like, I guess,
or not defending. She was defending her by saying, like, she wasn't doing it to be racist. She was, like, just, like, ignorant.
Well, she was going with the whole idea that,
or she was saying that she was supposed to be a shadow something. Yeah, but regardless, I mean, it's definitely an unfavorable tweet. But it's just, like, stupid kid shit. Like, I don't think she's like that now. I mean, I guess she, like, is a Republican and, like, voted for Trump or something like that, which, 50% of the population, if not more, voted for this guy. So it's like, you can't really hold that against her. But yeah, I mean, she put out, like, it's kind of now, like, I feel like the copy and paste statement that people should say, like, when this kind of comes out now. That's how many times, like, this has happened that, like, it's like you can kind of, like, look at what other people have, like, said and the right stuff and, how it came off and just say the same exact thing. So I don't know. Do you think this is going to affect her long game, or?
I don't know if it's going to affect her long term.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
it really depends on.
She wasn't the one doing blackface, but still.
Right. I mean, it's also, like, it really depends on how far she makes it.
Right.
But yeah. I mean, it's just like, of course, that type of stuff comes out on a new season. So yeah. So how many girls went home this week?
I think about 9. Yeah. 8 or 9.
Wow.
9. I guess 9 went home because, like, they only had 20 roses. There's 30 of them. And Madison left on her own volition, sort of got sent home. Mm-hmm. So that leaves them with, like, I
mean, a good selection. I think he made the right choices. But we got to look at the season. What do you get out of, like, the preview of the whole season?
It looks like, as I was saying earlier, it looks like he's going to be falling in love with several people. Mm-hmm. And that always gets dicey, as we know. And it looks like there's going to be girls coming to him looking for help about how other girls are coming at them. I'm seeing a lot of that. Like the thing they keep showing is like the one girl like crying on his knee being like, help me, like blah, blah, blah. Like they're framing me or like whatever. So something is going to go on where he's going to have to try to parse through the she saids to figure out what's the truth.
How do you feel about after this episode?
You know, I'm interested to see the personalities of all the characters develop in the season.
Well said.
Is what I'll say, because I mean, it wasn't. I mean, I hate this first episode, so I can't really blame anything on this one, because to me, it's like not super engaging. The first episode is always kind of like, I'm like, all right, let's keep it going. I
didn't hate this one as much as I have in the past.
I think I didn't hate this one as much in some ways just because there wasn't as much stupid shit, and they did kind of breeze through a lot of the limo entrances. Like they kind of would just show snippets of being like, all right. I think it definitely looked like it was a long night of filming for them. And I feel like, you know, we got to meet some more of these girls and try to understand a little bit of the dynamic, but I feel like still not a ton of substance, which is, you know, I'm looking to see what we can get out of some of these things. So,
anything else coming out of Bachelor Nation?
Yes. Raven and Adam are expecting their second child together. They'll have 2 under 2. Their second kid is due in July. They already have a son together.
Nice.
So, congrats to them. I feel like some of these Bachelor folks just are popping out babies.
Yeah, that's a fun couple.
Yeah, they are fun. They're a Bachelor in Paradise success story. So.
Although, like, I don't see them really like talking about them often. Like, why are they not like?
I don't know. That is a good question.
Yeah. Because
they seem pretty normal, cool, whatever. I wonder if there's something else there. Like, if they just don't
want to be.
Yeah, maybe they don't care to buy into as much of all of that, you know?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, Raven seems like a pretty down-to-earth person. She was already successful before the show, so.
Right.
Anyways, I mean, she did go in Bachelor in Paradise, though.
Right.
So, yeah, well, what do you guys think of this first episode of season 27 with Zach? You know, did you enjoy it? Do you like the girl? Do you like the women that are, you know, showing up for Zach? Do you think he made some good choices this episode? What do you think of the situation with Greer? Who is your favorite? Obviously, mine is Briana. She's just great. And just let us know in the comments below so we can give you a shout out.
And
next
do we
week.
think it looks like Anastasia's going to be a villain? People are saying it looks like she's going to be a villain. I mean, she looks like a hottie.
There's always the villain always comes out, whether they are a villain or the girls make one villain or something like that. It's just the way it goes in this house. So, it would be interesting if we never did get a season of villains, but you know,
I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how they literally set it up so that you go against each other because you have literally nothing else to do. Mm-hmm. And you have one common goal.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I'm sure as they're casting these girls, like they're like figuring out like, ooh, this one's got something that we can, you know, throw in the mix to get it a little spicy.
Right.
So, you know, I'm excited to see what happens in episode 2. So, all right, guys, we'll be back next week, you know, with episode 2 of the Bachelor season. Thanks for that.
Future Bachelor Podcast.